Okay, so we are live now. So, a very good evening and welcome to everyone who is on this meeting. I have made Mr. Namanuddin, the teaching assistant, as the main host so that he can help you participate in the meeting. We have shifted to this format of a Zoom meeting because we found that the interactive session on YouTube Live is actually not very interactive because participants can chat only through text chat, which is very impersonal. In the Zoom meeting, you are able to unmute yourself and speak, and also to open your video and show us your video. So, we would like to urge you to participate actively in this session because, after all, the main purpose of this session is to interact with you and to sort out your doubts and queries. I noticed that there are no queries in the discussion forum. That is what Naman has reported. But we are open to any query that anybody may have related to introduction to aircraft design, related to aircraft, or any other thing that you would like to discuss. So I have earmarked the next approximately 1 hour for interaction with you. So the floor is open. My request is people who are online should unmute themselves and participate in the discussion. So, Norman, can you please update me on how many people have joined the meeting apart from you and me?
So right now they have not joined. They are joining on YouTube live. So what I did, I have shared the meeting link on the live chat of YouTube.
Yeah, and you also mentioned that kindly join on this meeting rather than on the YouTube live.
Sure, sir, I'm writing. So six people are joined YouTube live. So we should start. I
Okay,
have shared the meeting link over there.
okay. So those of you who are able to hear me on YouTube live, we would once again request you to please come on the Zoom meeting. The credentials for the same have been shared by your teaching assistant Namanuddin. It is very helpful for us to participate, uh, in a live fashion. So it will help us a lot if you do participate actively in this discussion. The whole purpose of shifting from YouTube live to a Zoom meeting is to improve the interaction and to really be able to talk to you, to see you, and to also hear you speak. I do not see any questions or any comments on the YouTube live also, apart from the comments made by Namanuddin regarding joining the Zoom meeting.
One person has joined by the name Manohar Kadam.
Yeah, so good evening. Whoever has joined, can you please unmute yourself and tell us who you are? Give us your background.
Sir, good evening. Myself Manor Kadam. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you are a bit low, so speak a bit loudly.
Okay. Can you hear me now? I think there's a problem with the network.
No, no, the network is okay, but your voice is low. You have to speak loudly or bring the mic near you if possible.
Okay, okay. Is it clear to you now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, hi. Good evening. Myself Manor Kadam. Actually, I work with airline. I'm a flight dispatcher and almost for 20 plus year. So I joined this course just to understand the aircraft design technology and to clear my doubts at certain aspects.
Great, great. I'm very happy that someone from the industry, especially a flight dispatcher, because there are many people who don't understand the role of dispatcher, and
Yeah,
they also don't realize what is the phenomenal contribution a flight dispatcher does in maintaining seamless operations of an airline. I mean, you are the interface between all the agencies and the pilot, and you are
correct.
the one who gives all the relevant data to the pilot for the specific flight that the pilots are undertaking.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
the information regarding the center of gravity, the number of passengers, the kind of cargo, the NOTAMs, all the information that a pilot needs for a specific flight on a specific day, on a specific route, all the last minute information, weather information, fuel information, all that is handled by the flight dispatcher. And these
correct,
are
sir.
the unsung heroes of aviation. I salute you and I thank you for joining the course.
Thank you
Would
so
you
much,
be able
sir.
to tell us where do you work
I was working initially with Jetaways for 18.5 years and now with the Indigo airline for last 6 years.
and where are
And
you based?
I'm based in Delhi.
You are based in New Delhi. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Very nice to meet you.
So I have already
Maybe.
completed that aircraft performance also with.
Acha. Okay. I hope to bump into you someday when I fly to Delhi from Mumbai.
Yeah,
It
definitely,
will be a
sir.
pleasure to meet you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
so what you can do is you must be seeing that our TA, Mr. Amaruddin, is also in the meeting. So
Okay.
through a chat session, you can please share your contact details. I'll also try to send you. So Naman, you can please type in my email address in the chat window.
Sure,
That will help him to contact us. Uh, so for your information, I am going to launch another course on NPTEL called as Air Transportation.
Okay.
That will be directly relevant to your area. Uh,
Okay.
Even aircraft design is relevant to you, I understand. But when you look at air transportation, that will be directly relevant because in that course, we are going to cover airlines, airport operations, air traffic management, rules, regulations, legal issues, human factors, maintenance, and all these topics, which are very dear. In fact, we will also cover flight dispatch in that. So
Okay. Fine.
it will be great. It will take some time. Let me share one more information. Just like we have NPTEL platform under the Swayam umbrella, that is another umbrella called as Swayam Prabha. Swayam Prabha
Okay.
is a TV channel, again by the Government of India, free of cost. So we have already recorded a course on air transportation in Swayam Prabha, and very soon it is going to be launched on the television channel. It will
Okay.
be broadcast live on the Swayam Prabha channel, which will be seen all over Southwest Asia. There will be three transmissions in a day. It's a course with 22 lectures of 1 hour each, approximately. And it will be so every day there will be a new lecture, morning shift, afternoon shift, and evening shift. And with that, you will get a brief exposure to the field of air transportation. Subsequently, our plan is to build on that particular course and to create the content for a dedicated one semester course on NPTEL on air transportation. So that will
Okay,
be
sir.
very much relevant and useful to you. So watch out. If you can share your email address and your phone number, we will be able to inform you whenever the Swayam Prabha channel launches our program. We will inform you in advance so that you can also communicate that information to your friends, your colleagues, and other people.
Okay,
And
sir.
important thing will be that since you are working in the industry and we are working the theoretical domain, there are many points or many things which may not be correct, which may not be up to date, which may not be relevant. You can help us by pointing out those mistakes, those omissions, so that we can improve our course for the future and give the correct and the appropriate knowledge to the students of the country. So we
Perfect, sir.
seek help from you in giving very honest and very true feedback. Okay. So do you have any feedback or any comment on the course of aircraft design till
Uh,
this particular time?
yeah, not much, but this is very helpful for me to understand the entire concept of designing. But the thing is that what I noticed, there is one word which was used, that is ETOPS. So nowadays, as per the new CR, that ETOPS is no more that word exists. It is now EDTO, that is Extended Divergent Time Operation. The
Okay.
ETOPS was applicable only for extended twin engine operations. So only for two engine aircraft applicable. Now it has become at a broader perspective, it has become EDTO. And certain fuel scenarios also in the last this lecture 10, we're planning the fuel like contingency fuel, that concept, then reserve fuel. What we are using in the airline is what is discussed in this on this forum in the lecture was a little bit um, contradictory. So, but
Okay.
anyway, that was a theoretical one. So we go as for understanding purpose, and what we work it goes as an professional purpose.
No, but we will be delighted to know from you what is
Okay.
the change. For example, I know now that we should talk about EDT or not ETOPS. I completely
Yes.
agree with you.
Uh-huh.
And also, whatever changes that you would like to point out regarding the content. See, in NPTEL, we have the option of putting up a note or putting up an additional video clip to
Okay.
educate the students. So if we can
Mhm.
bring in the classroom the realism from a practical point of view, if there is anything that happens differently in the industry compared to
Okay.
what we have spoken in the course, it will be
Okay.
great help.
Okay. No problem, sir.
Okay, we will be happy to get your feedback and we will issue a correction. And if required, then we can record one particular clip or the entire lecture once again to suit its improvement. In the
Okay, sir.
meantime, we have one chat from Mohammed Hamid on the YouTube. I would request Mohammed Hamid to come online on Zoom if possible, because as I mentioned, the YouTube is very non-interactive. In a way, it is only one-sided. You only get to hear me. So Mohammed Hamid, if possible, Noman has already shared in the chat window the credentials of the YouTube of the Zoom meeting. Kindly join the Zoom meeting, and then I'll be happy if you ask a question in the Zoom meeting. Okay. Noman, you can send a message to Hamid also directly if possible.
Yeah, I have shared the credentials again. We have another person by the name Nikhil.
Nikhil.
In,
So, Nikhil, can you please unmute yourself and talk about you and your background?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good evening there. Uh, I have completed my bachelor's in mechanical engineering from VIT Pune, BVD, and I passed out in 2018, and I then worked for 4 years in compressor OEM, and now currently I am doing my master's actually, master's in aerospace engineering in Germany, and being like mechanical engineering background, I was not aware of the aircraft systems and design processes during the bachelor studies. So that's why I wanted to take this course. And because in the master studies, it's more advanced level aerospace engineering, not the
Correct.
basics.
So,
So that's why
in which university are you located in Germany?
I am studying in Technical University of Darmstadt.
Darmstadt, TU
Yeah,
Darmstadt. Okay, okay,
TU Darmstadt. Yes.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to visit Germany by the end of October for a conference.
Okay,
This
sir.
conference
Yeah.
is happening next to the Frankfurt airport.
Okay. Okay.
It's a conference about airships. There is something
Okay.
called as the International Airship Association. Okay.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
Airship Association is a body of airship enthusiasts and knowledgeable people. So they conduct
Okay.
a conference. Now, because of COVID, there was no conference in the last 4 or 5 years. But
Yeah.
after the COVID break, they are doing it, and they have chosen to do it in the Zeppelin Music Museum.
Ah, yes. Yes.
Zeppelin
Yeah.
Museum in the place just next to Frankfurt Airport. Uh,
Yeah.
so there is a small town called Zeppelinheim.
Yes.
And in Zeppelinheim, there is a Zeppelin Museum. In that museum, this conference will be held 24th, 25th, 26th of October. And
October.
I'm planning to
Okay.
attend this conference because me and my student, we are both planning to go. He's going to make a presentation on a paper also.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
wonderful to have people from TU Darmstadt attend our course. Would you like to give any comments about anything that you have read or seen in the course based on your
Um,
experience so far?
yes. The course is actually very detailed, sir. So I was pretty happy to go through all the details. And just one thing I want to highlight is in the assignment quizzes, there are like multiple correct answers. So, which are actually, I mean, I found it difficult to, I mean, answer it all correctly. But I'm working on that. And so that's I found them a little bit confusing. So maybe can you guide us like
Okay.
how to solve those questions?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Very
Yeah.
good point. See, our endeavor has been to create assignment questions primarily based on the content which is covered in the video. And are you aware about the transcripts of the videos? Do you know that whatever I speak in the video, already it has been transcribed into a document? Do you know about it?
Yes. 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 Yeah. I have
Right.
downloaded the document.
So if you actually go through the transcripts carefully, and if
Yeah.
you go through the videos also carefully, you will find that most of the questions which are asked are answered. Now, the one
Yeah.
important point that we have always decided is we had a choice of going for a classical multiple choice assignment in which there are, let's say, four choices and only one is correct. Okay. That is what
Yeah.
most people are used to. But the problem is with that, a guessing game always is possible.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
if you know, see, when we have learning, we would like the students to be absolutely confident about the points that they are making. So what we have done is intentionally we have created assignments in which in many cases more than one choice is correct, and we give the mark only when all the correct choices are selected and not even one wrong choice is selected, because
Yes.
that is the only way to confirm that you are actually able to understand and follow the content and not guessing. I
Okay.
understand
Okay.
that for anyone to do an assignment like that, it needs more time and effort. But only when you are pretty sure and confident of the answer, you will be able to do the assignments correctly. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know it can get tough. Now we say honestly that we will not give any partial mark, and we implement that scheme in the assignment selection. But I'll give you the inside story. The inside story is that
Mhm.
when we do the evaluation of the final question paper, sometimes, see, NPTEL has a very wonderful system of giving us the feedback about the examination. So for every question in NPTEL, I get to know how many people were able to answer it correctly, how many people have
Okay.
made a mistake, and also not only that, it also tells me that among the top 20% of the scorers, among the top 20% of the students, how many got it wrong? So now, if
Okay.
there is a question where even the toppers of the course, top 20% of the course have got it wrong, either it means that the question is tough, or it is wrong, or it is little bit confusing. So when we
Mhm.
see such questions, we give partial marking, or we evaluate, okay, why, what is the mistake people are doing? So we realize that there are four choices. The first three are correct. Most people have marked only the first two. The third one, they are not sure. So in these cases, we also do moderation and we increase the marks, or we give partial marking like 2/3 or something like that. Okay. So
Okay.
what I'm saying is that our endeavor is that people should not watch the videos like they're watching a YouTube movie or a film. We would like our students to watch the videos for learning. So they should be able to listen to us carefully. They should be able to understand the concepts. If required, they should be able to go back and view the video again. So
Mhm.
what we have found is that students who watch the video, if they answer the assignment purely based on that, they may make a mistake. But if you watch the videos, then you look at the questions, and then if you go back and search where this particular concept is covered, you might
Yeah.
get to know the correct answer. This is what many people have given the feedback, that when we answer the questions purely after listening to you once, we make mistakes. But when we search for the answer in the video, after hearing it once, looking at the question, we get more hints and more suggestions. So I know it is time consuming, I know it is tough, but that is the whole purpose. Unfortunately, this is non-participative learning. So you are in Germany sitting somewhere and learning on your own. I am in IIT
Yeah.
Bombay talking to you through this computer. If you were in front of me, by looking at your reaction, by looking at whatever expression you give me, I would have come to know whether the concept is going or not going,
Yeah.
reaching you or not reaching you. And then you can just raise your hand and ask a question. And you can probably, when you ask me a question, it triggers my understanding and say, oh, this is the place where the students are stuck. And as you know, not every student is very forthcoming in asking questions. Some people hesitate, some people have some inhibitions. But when somebody asks a question, actually that question could be for more than one person.
Yeah. Right.
All these beautiful things are not available to us in NPTEL, but we still want a person to learn. So we were debating on what should we do. There is one option, that you make the examination and the assignments easy so that more people pass. That is not our aim. Our aim is not that people should pass. Our aim is people should learn. So
Yeah.
for that, over the last so many years, we have come up with this scheme. There is one more thing we do which can be considered a little bit cruel by students. So there are some questions in which only one answer is correct, but we show it as multiple correct answers intentionally. Okay,
Okay.
we
Yeah.
want people to be confident that no, even though it is said multiple correct answer, only one is correct. I am sure about it. I am going to mark it. Okay. So many a time people
Yeah.
ask me, why do you do this? Why are you being so? See, we want to remove complete guesswork. We don't want people to say, see, answering questions and getting marks is not our complete intention. So that's
Mhm.
why we inject all these small things, because we are dealing with a very impersonal medium where there is no content. In fact, the Zoom meeting at least allows us to talk. Otherwise, in the YouTube live session, which I was doing till this time, we were only reading your comments on the chat window. There was absolutely no personal connection. Okay. So
Yeah.
I hope I have clarified to you why our questions are like that.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, sir. Thanks a lot. It
So
was.
see,
Yeah.
in the assignment, you have a lot of time with you, because the assignment is loaded and it is available for nearly a week. So
Yeah.
there, the questions can be such that one can go back and forth. But in the examination, you don't have the option of going back. You are under time pressure, and you are in the examination environment. And we all have given exams. We know how exams can be tense for everybody. Anybody who gives exams, there is an element of tension. Sometimes the tension is healthy because it makes you alert and it makes
Yes.
you access the best cognitive abilities that you have. But beyond a point, it can become counterproductive. So during the examination, we try. And when we see, when we see during evaluation that, look, lots of people are getting this question wrong. Sometimes, like, there are questions like fill in the blanks, right? So there,
Yeah.
there we will actually, you will be told, I think in the third session, about the examination question types. So in fill in the blanks, we also give in brackets a number which tells you how many letters are there in the answer. Okay. So if the answer is, for example, design, we will put bracket 6 there. So that is a hint to you that the answer I'm looking for is having 6 letters. Some people ignore that. Some people make a spelling mistake. We ignore these things. We, if someone spells design as DESSIGN, I don't cut marks because my aim is done. I wanted him or her to respond to me, to give me. Spelling mistakes can happen to anybody. So we go to this extent that we process the answers in such a way, and we should thank NPTEL because the kind of environment they have given us to evaluate is so beautiful. I really wish I had a similar access to environment in my courses in IIT Bombay, where I can get a complete data about, they give us statistics like 7 people have answered this question wrongly, and this is what they have answered. So 8 people have done this same spelling mistake. So we do the moderation, and with that, a lot of people are helped because we then know that the person knows the answer. It is just a mistake in the typing or in the writing. So actually, Mohammed Hamid is asking me that please give some tips to pass the exam. Actually, I don't have any tips other than what I have given you right now. Okay. So I think, Naman, anybody else has joined and they would like to talk about it?
Yes, sir. There are two more persons, Yash Prakshikar and Vijay Arvind.
Yeah, Yash
Before that,
Kapshikar,
I would like,
yes,
yeah,
Yash
before
Kapshikar is
that,
known to me because he's an intern in our lab, so I know him. Who is the next
okay,
person?
Vijay Arvind. He was available in the Introduction to Aerospace Engineering also.
So Vijay Arvind, we have already interacted 2 days ago in the previous course. I think we'll just go ahead with the presentation because already we have spent a lot of time. So we would like to just give you an overview of the agenda points today. Okay. Unfortunately, number 3 is redundant because nobody has asked any question, which is very sad. One of the interesting learnings that you can have in aerospace engineering is from the accidents that take place. And one accident that happened recently, very unfortunate accident, was the crash of Lion Air 737 MAX. Okay, Lion Air Flight 610. So what I'm going to do is, I have borrowed this particular presentation from the assignment submitted by some of our students. So upfront, I'd like to thank them for giving this assignment. So essentially, this accident took place in Indonesia when a plane took off from Jakarta early morning, and after about 13 minutes, it actually crashed. And I think everybody on board was lost. The aircraft was a Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft. All the passengers and the crew members were lost. So let us look at the sequence of the events that took place. Okay. It took off in the morning at 6:20. Immediately upon takeoff, the two pilots realized that there is a mismatch between the indicated airspeed sensor and the altimeter. Now, this is where the problems start. Whenever there is a mismatch between the speed sensor and the altimeter, and if the mismatch continues, the standard operating procedure, I think, is that the aircraft turn around and landed. Okay. But in this case, the pilots decided to continue with the flight. After some time, the control column stick of the pilot began shaking, and that is an imminent warning about impending stall, because there is a stick shaker installed in the aircraft which shakes the control column if the aircraft is approaching stall, or if the system thinks that the aircraft is approaching stall, it gives an input to the control column to start vibrating it. This is a warning to the pilots. So to the main pilot in command got a warning. The moment the column started shaking, which means the system detected that there is an imminent stall, a new system in the aircraft called as MCAS, which stands for Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. This got activated, and it got activated to bring the nose of the aircraft down. Because when the aircraft is nearing stall, the nose is going up. So you bring the nose down. But the pilots, they interrupted the MCAS by manual trim up inputs. Okay. So this has to be kept in mind that MCAS system was trying to bring the nose down, but the pilots interrupted MCAS and gave the input. Now this happened 26 times. Just imagine, you can see all those red dots in the figure on the top right. Okay. All those dots represent the locations when the pilots, in a way, were correcting. They were correcting the MCAS activation by providing a manual trim. And notice that all of them were done at approximately 5,000 feet altitude. And during that time, the airspeed also was roughly constant, varying between almost 270, 280 to about 330, 40. Okay. So now, the trim down inputs given by the pilots were higher than the trim up inputs that led to the police trim position decreased to 1.5 units. Okay. And the aircraft, you can see at 2332, the aircraft crashed into the Java Sea. After about 13 minutes, the aircraft was down. So during the analysis of the crash, it was found that in the previous flight of the aircraft, which was from Denpasar to Jakarta, there were some serious issues faced. Okay. The pilots have reported that it was very difficult for the pilot to maintain the passengers have reported that the pilots were not able to maintain a constant altitude. There was a continuous up and down motion of the aircraft. The passengers felt it was like a roller coaster ride. This is in the previous flight, which means that there is some problem with the trim circuit of the aircraft. Okay. Now, the MCAS program, originally it was programmed to push the nose down if a single angle of attack sensor told it that it was going into a stall. We'll come to that a little bit later. Now, it was also found that the altitude and speed disagree message appeared and it was reported for maintenance. So the problem that was faced by flight 610 was also a repeat of the previous flight. There was a difference in the angle of attack between the two instruments. The difference was quite a lot, 21 degrees, but it wasn't even reported. Now, what is this MCAS system? MCAS system was a very interesting and innovative system incorporated by Boeing. Essentially, it was developed specially for Boeing MAX series, 77 MAX series. What happened is that when Boeing 77 MAX aircraft was designed, they wanted to use the same engine, but they had to locate, no, sorry, not the same engine. They wanted to use a larger engine. And if you mount the large engine at the same location, then there will be a problem with the clearance between the bottom of the engine nacelle and the ground. Okay, but they wanted to use the same airframe, but to put larger engine. So therefore, the idea was that you locate it slightly more forward. Now that makes it unstable in the high angle of attack maneuverings. So the MCAS system was supposed to automatically trim down the horizontal stabilizer, restricting the high angle of attack approach The idea of MCAS was that if the system suspects that the aircraft is near stall, the MCAS will automatically reduce the nose down, will bring the nose down to reduce the inclination of the aircraft. But there was one major fundamental flaw, design flaw, that the input of the angle of attack was taken only from one sensor and not as an average of multiple sensors as would have been the case. So the accident happened because of the miscalibration of the angle of attack sensor during the maintenance done after the previous flight. Because of the miscalculation, it gave an erroneous reading to the MCAS system. The MCAS system automatically trimmed the aircraft. It gave a trim down command to the horizontal stabilizer. And the stabilizer deflected in such a way that you would get a nose down pitching moment. This was happening automatically. But this was overridden by the pilot 26 times. And again, it was continuing. So the primary cause of the crash is that the previous flight crew did not report at all, report all the issues that they faced. Then MCAS system was a new system and the Boeing company thought that there is no need to inform the pilots or the airlines about it because it will increase unnecessarily the cost of training. They said that the system will automatically take care of any stalling of the main wing. Right. Therefore, they were not trained for the MCAS activation and they were not, it was not even mentioned properly in the documentation of the aircraft because it was supposed to be an inherent system. The second problem is the miscalibration of the AOA sensor. Okay, and the fundamental flaw in the whole design was that the MCAS system was designed to rely only on a single angle of attack sensor. If that sensor fails or misbehaves for some reason, the MCAS system would be compromised. And also, there was a lack of workload management in the highly stressed situation by the flight crew. Both the pilots were trying to solve the problem and they were talking to each other and they were getting a bit confused. So what is the lesson learned from this accident? That you need to have proper training of the flight crew to handle multiple alerts. The co-pilot could not handle all the alerts, including those given earlier. There's something called as hazard report management that has to be tuned up. Then in the flight manual, there should be a section that includes what to do in an emergency situation. There was no mention about MCAS or MCAS tuning in the manual. And finally, it was surmised that we should simulate the situation for specific failure modes that could lead to the undesirable activation of the MCAS system. Sensor calibration and verification can be strictly adhered. This would have not happened if the data from a single sensor was to be permitted, and there should be strict supervision to implement all the procedures. Now, one more aircraft in Ethiopia crashed just a few days or months after this crash. After that happened, Boeing company was in a way forced to ground this whole aircraft. The information for this presentation has come from these four sources. Thank you. And any doubts that you have regarding the presentation, you can ask me now.
Sir, if at all if they had not intervened and only MCAS it had taken control of the aircraft, would that crash had been avoided?
Yes, in my opinion, yes. If the pilots had not messed up the situation by manually correcting, the crash would have been avoided. The crash took place because the pilots were completely unaware that there is a system which doesn't allow us to deflect our horizontal tail, which allows us to go to the elevators and do it. Whereas We have never suggested the pilots to, do this elevator business.
Okay.
Yes. Any other doubt anybody has?
There is one doubt in the chat box.
Yeah. What is the doubt? Yes, please. So now I will proceed ahead and talk to you about the NPTEL internship scheme, which is a very interesting scheme that is open to the NPTEL toppers. The toppers of any NPTEL course are the students who get the highest marks, the top 10%, I think. So those students are eligible for an internship with the concerned professor. The duration of the internship varies. It is based on the convenience of the faculty member and the student. Now, all faculty members don't offer internships, and some will offer internship only to one student, some will offer it to 5 students. Everything is a function of the availability and the comfort level of the concerned professor. And this is a paid internship, and the best part is it could be done online. The good thing about the internship is that they give you a certificate, which itself is very beautiful. And also, the information regarding this can be verified by anybody by going online on the website of NPTEL. So your document can be verified. That means people will not feel that you did this internship just because you know somebody or just because you have some contacts. You did it actually by being in touch with the professor, and the professor is very happy with that.
So these exams are happening in Mumbai also?
Yes, yes, yes. Internships are happening in Mumbai also.
No, no, on normal NPTEL online exams, like online platform that the
You
final
mean to say
exam.
the examination?
Yes, yes, course
Yeah, yeah.
exam.
Mumbai is a center. Yes,
Okay, okay.
Mumbai
My
is one of
hometown
the
is Mumbai,
centers.
but I could not see that.
You
Anyway,
have to send an email to the NPTEL office to find out. I think the last date for joining for examination is over.
yeah, correct.
But still, you could probably do it next time, or you could ask them if there's any alternative available to you. I'm not sure if they will be able to accommodate you at this stage, but they are very kind and they are very generous in helping out the students. For example, I received an email from a student saying that I would like to change my center. I forwarded that mail to the NPTEL authorities, and within no time they have agreed and they have forwarded it to the correct people. And so NPTEL people are very proactive and very helpful. To the extent possible, they will help you. Sometimes their hands may be tied, but generally they are. If they can help, they will definitely help. Okay.
Copy, sir. Thank you.
Moving ahead, as I mentioned, there are no questions asked. This is not fair because we conduct this live session to answer the questions of the participants. Even now also, if you have any question or any comment or you wish to discuss something, we have another 15 minutes left in this meeting. So please take part in discussion forum actively, ask your questions, and I think the teaching assistant is going to be able to answer most of the questions. He's very experienced now. But in case there is a question which he cannot handle, he passes on to me, and together we will arrive at the answer and give it to you. Okay. So I have already opened the page for feedback. I'll open it once again. Open for queries. That's all I wanted to talk. Now the floor is open. For another 14 minutes or so, I am available for you to interact with you. If there are any other students who are in the meeting, they can unmute and speak one by one.
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Sir, can you please explain how X-shaped wings uh, used in plane, sir?
Can you repeat? Because you talk slowly and repeat your question a bit loudly. What do you want to know?
Sir, some Russian drones wings are like in X shape.
No, I'm not able to understand. Sorry. Can you type your question and then Naman will help me?
Okay, sir.
Please type your question in the chat window and then Naman will help me. In the meantime, anybody else would like to unmute and introduce yourself?
So his question is, how cruise missiles fly superfly with small wings with its high wing loading?
Purely because of the thrust. So cruise missiles are essentially aircraft which fly with small wings. The speed is so high that you get enough thrust from the engine itself. So from the small wing itself. So they don't need very large wings. See, whenever an aircraft flies slowly, it needs larger wing area. Cruise missiles fly at very high speeds. Generally, they are supersonic. So they have already, in fact, if you look at even supersonic aircraft, they generally have smaller wings. So small wings are sufficient and enough. But the only problem is that even if you fly supersonic, you have to first fly subsonic to reach that speed. And when you come into land, you have to again come down to subsonic values. So it is important that the aircraft has good subsonic behavior along with supersonic ability. That is possible with the help of thrust. Yeah. Any other question? X-wings, my understanding is X-wings are a cross between helicopter and aircraft. So when you stop the rotor, they become like a X-shaped wing. The rotors are very large in their dimensions. They have large area compared to normal rotors. And when you want to fly as a rotor, you can start rotating them. That is my understanding of X-wings. So they achieve double abilities. They are like a helicopter and they are like aircraft. In some phases, they are helicopters. In some phases, they are aircraft. Okay, let's move ahead. We have about 9 minutes remaining.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yes.
Just I don't know whether it will suit to this discussion or not. Most of the airfields everywhere, the slope characteristic of the runway is plus minus 2%. There's a standard slope. So just trying to understand why that is maintained only 2. There are airfields which are different slopes, but the standardized is plus minus 2 only. That is they have kept. So by any chance, you have any idea about this?
Yes, Manohar. Yes. See, the thing is this, that airstrips are built over land and it is very difficult to maintain over a long distance of land perfectly matching slope. Okay. Now, you permit a particular value, maybe 2%, but if you have an airstrip with, say, more gradient, under certain operating conditions, it can become dangerous. For example, if the aircraft is taking off and you have, let's say, more than 2% slope, it might be possible that you will have extremely large takeoff distance, more than what the airstrip can handle. So by experience, they have found that a 2% variation is generally manageable and that does not affect the performance to that extent that one can come in and say, no, not permitted. It's all based on experience.
Okay. So basically, it's only just because of the experience. It has been
Experience
overall
and
experience.
see, lots aircraft and airline regulations are mostly based on past experience, and they keep modifying them as and when instances happen. Okay, so for many of the reasons, for example, there is this rule which says that you have to add a factor of 60% to the landing distance of the aircraft.
Yes,
Okay.
factor landing distance.
Correct. Now, why is it 6? Why is it 1.6? Why not 1.5? Why not 1.75? Because they have found over the years that because of the variation in the pilot skill and the pilot ability of flaring the aircraft, within 60%, you can get almost all solutions. Okay. So that means if you insist on 60%, it will be safe for almost all the times. But there could be some pilots who can do it within 5%. These are good pilots. In fact, the pilots which are test pilots, very good pilots, pilots which are normally hired by the aircraft manufacturer OEMs to test the aircraft, they are much more skilled compared to any commercial pilot. But rules and regulations are created by the FAA or by the DGCA or by the EAA for an average situation. So by experience, they found that this number 1.6 is good enough to take care of all variations. So they have given it. Now this number can be reduced to 1.5 after a detailed scrutiny of last so many years. If someone collects the data and collects and does the analysis and proves that most of the aircraft that have landed so far are landing within 50%, maybe there will be a pressure on the FAA to change that number to 50%. Okay, Vijay Arvind has the question about in fighter aircraft is CG. Wait a minute, I'm just losing that. Is CG is between AC and NP or at AC or at NP? No, no, no. You will never have the CG at AC or NP because those are two extreme limits. The CG is definitely between AC and NP in general, but some aircraft which are inherently unstable and they are made stable only by automatic flight control, which deflects some of the control systems continuously. There you may have an unstable aircraft where the CG may be even, the CG may be even behind the neutral point. But generally speaking, fighter aircraft have smaller static margin, maybe 5% or something of that order. Transport aircraft, on the other hand, they have higher static margin, approximately 15 to 20%. So moving the CG behind gives you higher maneuverability. Okay, but then if you go beyond a point, then you need automatic flight control system for you to fly safely, because you can't expect the pilot to continuously keep doing the corrections and not do anything else. The pilot has a lot of things to do. All right, we have around 5.5 minutes remaining. What are your thoughts on 9M3730 Burevestnik Russian nuclear-powered cruise missile? I have no views, sir, because I have never heard about this missile. I don't know. And once I don't know, I would not like to comment. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know about this missile. Something new for me. So the floor is open for you to have any other interaction with me.
Hi, sir. Nikhil here again. Yeah, sir. If you need any assistance during your visit, please let me know. I would be very glad to assist you.
Visit in Germany, you mean?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
How far are you from Braunschweig to Frankfurt?
Braunschweig is near, I think, Zeppelin. It's in Zeppelin, I guess. Yeah. It's, I think, 2 hours max from Darmstadt. So,
okay, fine. Yeah. So if I get an evening free, I might come to Darmstadt to meet you. Or if you are free, because on Sunday, on 27th October is a Sunday, we only have some local visit in the morning and then we have a flight in the evening.
Okay.
So I'll have to see, because every day is occupied. However, I must tell you one thing. I'm coming one day early. So on 24th, I am free till the evening. So if it is possible, let us coordinate. Please share your email address and phone number. Let us coordinate.
Yes, yes. Okay, sir.
We might meet in Braunschweig on, on that day. Because
I can come there.
We are leaving on 23rd October.
Okay.
By 12 noon in the afternoon, and we should reach by 23rd, I think 5:30 p.m. But our activity starts only on 24th evening at 5.
Okay.
The whole of the morning of 24th is available.
Yeah. That's okay. Then yeah, I'll mail you my contact details. Then we can coordinate,
Let's see.
sir.
Let's see. Let's
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Vijay Arvind said this is the X-wing plane. Okay. I'll have to see your file because I don't know how to see a file in the meeting. Okay, it's coming. This is something new. This is something very interesting. Lancet. Oh, it's a loitering munition. Okay, okay, okay. So I must tell you something. Loitering munition is a new concept. Even in India, we are working in loitering munitions. These are UAVs which are used for, combat. These are unmanned aerial vehicles which are used for combat. Now, why the hell does it have two cross wings? I don't know. I'll have to check. I don't see any. I don't see any immediate reason. I don't think this one is a spinning one. The one I thought was different. There are some X-wing aircraft which are having only one rotor-like structure on the top. This is something else, Lancet. So if you can send an email or a message in the discussion forum, then I think Namanuddin is going to search it and talk to you about it. But thank you so much, Vijay Arvind, for sharing this beautiful picture. I really don't have any answer. And I'll be requesting Norman to take this picture down, save it, and then we will try to find out and we will respond to you. Okay, another 2 minutes before we have to close this meeting. Any other last minute thoughts anybody has? So Nikhil, my email address has already been shared by Naman in the chat window, right? Have you seen that?
Yes. Yeah.
You can mail me your coordinates and your details there, and we can be in touch.
Yes, sir.
It's a
Yes.
pleasure. We are
For
right
sure.
now interacting in a online mode. It will be a pleasure to catch up with you and sit with you and maybe have lunch together somewhere. We'll see.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that would be great for me as well.
Great. Let us see.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else would like to ask anything? If not, then I think we will close the meeting. We have only 1 minute remaining.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this interactive session.
Thanks a lot. I think
Yes.
it's time for us to stop the meeting. So thanks. I really enjoyed this session because I could talk to you personally, although I could not see you because you did not put your camera on, but that's all right. At least I could hear you and I could interact with you much better than the textual interaction, which I do normally on the laptop. So with that, I would like to wish you all the best, and we will meet again in the third session where we will give you hints about the examination. Except revealing the question paper, we will be able to help you with everything. All right. Thank you so
Yes.
much. And we look forward to meet you. Have a nice afternoon, evening, whatever.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
a lot.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.